How's it going, guys? FTO back. Got an all new podcast for you. I'm your host, Demetrius, aka Jet Screamer. Here's my co host.
Hello, Nydia, aka Grandmaster of the Universe.
Mega Man!
Okay, so this week we have a lot to talk about. We had San Diego Comic-Con that went on over the weekend, and we have entertainment news, gaming news, all kinds of randomness. So expect to go through this wild ride while we explain it all to you for your listening pleasure. First thing I wanted to talk about, not sure if everybody has heard about this, but the NCAA is not going to be renewing their sports contract with EA.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Did you find out why? Why that's happening?
I did. Apparently, the NCAA doesn't really want to go through the litigation process with renewing their contracts every year with EA anymore. So they're kind of just fed up with it. They're like, we're out.
Is there any talks of anyone else doing it?
There is no talks of anybody else picking up the contract or anything like that. Yeah. What I read is that EA is going to be putting out football games. They're still going to continue with the football games,
Right. They got the Madden still doing it, and they got the NHL and the NBA. Just no NCAA.
Right. They're just not going to have that shiny little sticker on the boxes that are going to reassure you that it's NCAA associated.
Is it like NCAA like basketball and football?
I didn't read anything about the basketball. I know for sure it's no more on the football.
Yeesh, that sucks.
Yeah, but they're still going to have the football games coming out. And I believe until January of 2014, the NCAA is going to be associated with these games. But after that point, no more.
So there may be one more game they're coming out for it, then,
Yeah, because they, for the purpose of, EA having to come up with these games and developing and all that stuff, it takes quite some time.
Right.
So there probably is going to be one more game, possibly after January of 2014, but anything following that, no more.
Yeesh, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on from that, I have probably more Comic-Con news than anything. Like, I had some other stuff I want to talk about, but mostly I'm going to talk about most of the Comic-Con stuff. There's one thing that really just, not many people talked about this inside the Comic-Con. That Karen Gillan, the chick who played Amy Pond.
Amy Pond from Doctor Who.
Yeah, she shaved her hair completely off for the role that she's playing. She's playing Nebula. It's an evil pirate who's trying to take over an entire civilization inside the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie. She cut her hair just for this role.
Yeah. No, not only did she cut it off, she shaved it off.
Yeah, shaved it.
It is bald. Gone. Yeah, completely gone. I did see one picture from her at Comic-Con, and when I saw that, I was like, what? Oh my God. Yeah. I was speechless.
I just hope she has a big role in this movie, because holy crap, to cut your hair off for a role, that's what Christian Bale did when he was in that one movie, The Mechanic. He lost he lost about 50, 60 pounds for that role, and he had to get done with that movie and go right to bulking up to do Batman Begins.
Yeah, that's That's a dedication.
That's some method
Um,
acting right there. Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, method acting. That is dedication to your role. So yeah, that was some crazy news right there. That surprised me a whole lot, actually. So there's that. And moving on from that, we have I don't know if I know I've seen on the interwebs some pictures surfacing of this 40-foot dragon skull that was built and placed on a British beach in Dorset, England.
Oh yeah, you told
Um,
me about that.
all just to promote the third season of Game of Thrones.
Because they don't get it like we do in the States. They have their own provider, and they had to use like stuff like that to promote the show in their area.
Yeah. So this company called Blinkbox,
Right.
they took it upon themselves to build this 40-foot massive dragon skull, and there's pictures. And
Yeah, we'll post
in the
pictures
link,
in the description below so you guys can see this thing.
yeah, this thing is huge, and it looks authentic. It is massive, and I'm just pretty sure whoever was walking along the beach that day, minding their own business, just enjoying their time at the beach, and then they come across this giant like dragon skull. I'm pretty sure they're looking at themselves going, WTF.
Ah, right. I actually
Yeah,
I
because this
haven't
thing
seen the
was
picture yet.
huge.
You told me about it, but I haven't seen the picture, so I'm like eager to see this picture also, just so I can see what it looks like. And if it's
Oh,
promoting
it's
Game of
impressive.
Thrones, it has to be amazing.
Yeah, oh, it is impressive.
I bet it's
And
Aegon's like a replicant of Aegon's dragon. I don't know if you guys like if any of you watched Game of Thrones or read the books, you know Aegon was the one who started a whole like colonization of Westeros. So he had his dragons and he pretty much took over the seven
mhm,
kingdoms. And he used three dragons. He used his dragons and his sister wives dragons. So yeah, it
mhm.
could be like a reconstruction of that dragon. I can't wait to see this thing.
Yeah, oh, it's impressive. I mean, and I think what I'm not 100% sure on this, but from what I remember reading in the article, when they built this skull, the dragon skull, they actually built it out of actual, you know, skeletal remains. They made it out of like other skulls. I'm sure they added other elements to it that aren't actually made of bones, but
Right.
for the most part, they're saying it is a skull.
Wow. So it's made out of actual
Yeah.
like bones. They say what kind of bones? Like is it human bones or is it animal bones?
No, I'm gonna assume that they're animal because laws and uh, I'm pretty sure government isn't too happy with
Right.
having human remains being used for advertisements.
You're right. Got a point there. All right.
Yeah.
Segueing from that there, I want to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man, the TV show. We all remember like Spider-Man used to come on right after the Avengers, Earth Mightiest Heroes, where apparently they got renewed for a third season. I'm
Yay.
do you watch the show?
No, I haven't. I'm just going general. Yay.
I watched a few of the episodes. It's kind of like Spider-Man meets Saved by the Bell. Because Spider-Man's kind of like Zach Morris. He talks to the camera. He breaks that fourth wall down. So he talks to the
Mhm.
camera a lot. He talks about his life, talks about his friends. He's more happy and upbeat in this series than he is in the normal Spider-Man 616
Mhm.
universe. It is supposed to be the Ultimate Universe, but still in the Ultimate Universe, Parker's still kind of miserable. But in this cartoon show, they're making him extremely happy. Like more happy
Mhm.
than he really should be, considering what he did to his uncle. So
Yeah.
uh, they got a third season of the show, which they bring back, Earth Mightiest Heroes, but we got this Avengers Assemble show now. It sucks all the good shows keep getting canceled, and the ones that are mediocre stick around, like this show here. It's not a bad
Yeah.
show. It's I wouldn't say it's worth getting renewed for a third season.
Mhm. Well, that they're keeping them around for some reason. It just kind of it's upsetting. Just kind of like how they did for the new Teen Titans Go cartoon.
Canceling
Got
Young
rid of.
Justice for that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't say like they canceled Young Justice to make this show, but as soon as Young Justice was over, this show came out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they had really wanted to, and I'm pretty sure there was a lot of outcry from fans,
But there are a
you
lot
know,
of
that,
petitions for it, yeah.
yeah, I mean, they could have continued with the Young Justice, but
It still
they brought
talks.
up,
It still talks about bringing it back. Like they said they wanted to. They started talking in April, but you still haven't heard
mhm.
any word from it. But after all this time, it's been like 3, 4 months since they talked about it. Those actors probably found themselves new jobs that they can do now, and it's hard to get the entire cast back after it's been this long and there's no contract. So
Yeah, that's true.
we had to say goodbye to that show.
Well, hey, if it could work for Family Guy, I'm sure it can work for any other show that gets canceled
Hey,
and
you never
is
know.
brought back.
Hear things
Yeah,
happen.
you never know. So, moving on from that, I have a bit of random news. This is actual news, nothing entertainment related or video game related. This is a article that I read that out in Dubai, there is a contest going on for the residents of Dubai um, to promote a healthier living out there, because apparently what's going on is that there are a lot of people who are overweight out in Dubai, and everybody knows that, people have money. So when you have money, you get comfortable and you're used to living, um, how do I say, a, a bountiful life. So what they're doing here is that they're paying their citizens to lose weight.
Oh, wow, to
And the
lose
way
weight.
and to lose weight. And the way that they are paying them is giving them gold.
So however
Of
much you
course.
weigh, how much pounds you lose, that's how much you get paid.
What I read is that in 30 months, if you, I mean, in 30 days, not 30 months, that's way too long. In 30 days, if you lose 4.4 pounds, they will give you 2 grams of gold.
Oh wow.
That, yeah, so those 2 grams of gold rounds out to about, I believe it's $90. Um, so you go to like their local park, and they have like people who are their officials, and they weigh you in, and they say you've lost this much from when you started, and so we're going to give you $90 worth of gold. We are literally giving you your weight in gold, and that is actually the name of the contest, Your Weight in Gold,
So
to
you
promote healthy living.
do they give you like the means to work out too? Do you have to like to work out yourself to lose this weight?
No, you have to work out yourself. I'm sure they do give you some guidelines. Maybe they help you give you some pamphlets on healthier eating habits,
Right, right.
count your calories, whatever. Um, but they want their citizens to start opening up their eyes and looking at the way that they are living, because they're not all the healthiest, I
Yeah.
suppose. And so they're giving everybody $90, which is 2 grams of gold for 4 pounds lost in a month. And for each additional pound that they lose within that, within the following months, um, they are giving everybody a gram of gold, which is $45. So
Wow.
you're wrecking, yeah, you could easily pocket $180 to $360, depending on how much weight you lose.
Wow, there must be a lot of overweight people out there. They did that in the States. There'd be a lot of skinny people in the world.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm sure they would. But yeah. So there's that bit of news.
I will.
And their contest is going from July 19th to August 16th. So there is a deadline. But I'm sure, you know,
I don't.
it's free money
I
just
don't
to
know if
lose
we.
weight.
So if we have any listeners in Dubai and you didn't know about that, so there you go. Now you know.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about Bryan Cranston. He's the lead actor in Breaking Bad. He was the dad
Breaking Bad.
in Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
He's
Hmm.
apparently he walked around Comic Con wearing a Heisenberg mask and dressed up like Heisenberg from the show the entire time, just walking around wearing like a little a little plastic mask. No one knew
Yeah.
it was him the entire time. He goes sits down on the podium with the mask on, and you finally see that it's him sitting there taking the
Right.
mask off. It was just
Yeah.
I read this like
It's
holy
hilarious.
crap, this is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. So like
Yeah,
it's like
I
this
actually saw a picture. I saw a picture of that, and I could not stop cracking up.
just holy crap. Like I wonder how many people that he talked to and like people ask me like, hey, that's a cool mask. Like some trolls out there probably like that's awful, that's stupid right there. But you know, it's him
Yeah.
out there just roaming around. He said he was out there for a while just talking to people, just randomly going out there talking to random people, wearing the mask, wearing the costume. Just that's pretty
Hmm.
damn awesome.
Yeah, he's wearing his face on
Yeah,
his face.
exactly.
He's but he had a little bit of faceception going on. Oh, that was too funny. I just couldn't believe it.
Also, if you guys get a chance, check out this YouTube channel called Man at Arms or All Me. This guy does like a lot of replicas of Wolverine claws. He does a Link. I think next he's gonna do like the Link sword, the power sword. He
Hmm.
did He-Man's power sword, the Thundercats Sword of Omens, the
Yeah,
Jamie Lannister sword.
he also did Finn's sword from Adventure Time. He does that sword.
Sword. I felt about that. That's one of my favorites
Yeah.
because he got like
Hmm.
he got the lines and the cuts inside there too, just like the show.
Yeah, and the coloring.
Yep.
He works with metals, so he gets that gold coloring.
And he talks
To,
about like all this stuff. So if you guys ever want to try to do some blacksmithing, it's a cool like sort of video just to watch what he's talking about and try to
Mhm.
hop on from there. It's really interesting to watch, and you just want to see like him make some real cool swords that from your favorite like anime or cartoon. It's really cool to watch it. They're not long videos. They're like 2-3 minutes at the tops. Just fun to watch.
Yeah, really fun and informative, and it's just amazing how he can take ordinary pieces of metal and transform them into these swords or weapons that are iconic that we've all seen.
I was really surprised by that Sword of Omen because he did a great job with that one there.
Yeah, it was really good. I really liked I don't know if you've seen that episode where he actually makes the sword, the Minecraft sword.
The diamond sword, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool. 'Cause
That.
he had to go in like to every detail of like the edge of that sword just to get it completely sand off. It's just
Hmm.
watching him do that was nuts,
Yeah.
absolutely nuts.
The detail that this man goes into is astonishing.
I love it.
Definitely some videos, some you should check out some of his videos.
Subscribe. Don't just check
Yeah.
him out. Subscribe to his videos.
Right. Check him out and subscribe. Yeah. Cuz definitely good channel to watch. So, we have I don't know. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about this. I'm sure there's a couple, but not too much buzz going on about the anniversaries that went on
Oh, yeah.
when San Diego Comic Con uh, passed. So many anniversaries.
So
Like
excited to talk about this. You have no idea, but yeah, keep going.
Doctor Who 50th anniversary.
We all know about
I'm
the 50th anniversary.
Of course.
I
I mean,
hope
the
we do.
BBC, the BBC channel alone has been blowing it up nonstop.
Oh man.
Yeah. Also, Transformers 30th anniversary. I can't believe that. 30 years for
30 years of
Transformers.
Good lord. I remember when I was like, what? I think it was 8 when I first watched Transformers, and I'm 29 now. So yeah, I've been watching Transformers for a long time. Like ever since it probably started, I'm thinking, man, good lord,
Yeah.
I feel old. But going back when you're talking about with the Doctor Who, I just want to throw this inside there. Moffat said that his 30th, 50th anniversary Christmas special, you will cry when you watch his last
Oh.
episode. So because Matt Smith is leaving, they got a new doctor
Mhm.
coming. He said you will cry when you watch this thing. But yeah, keep going with the anniversary. What was the other one?
Oh, on that bombshell, right? X-Files 20th anniversary. They had a panel that went on for Comic-Con, and so
Yeah,
Scully and
they were there, right? They had them both there.
Yeah, they reunited for that. the 20th anniversary
That
panel
was
for
insane.
X-Files.
I
I
heard you could have
remember.
had a chance to go there, but you kind of missed out like 2 days late.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Could have gone, could have, would have, should have, but I didn't.
Next year, right? That's what
That,
next year's for.
crossing my fingers next year, if anything, hopefully I can get myself into Comic Con for next year. Yay! But X Files 20th anniversary, I remember watching that as, a little kid. I mean, I'm 27, so I was like, what, 7, maybe 8 at the time the X Files came out. And wow.
I watched the X Files. I just wasn't that big into the X Files, but I watched just about every single episode.
Yeah.
Even the last season where you actually started to see like aliens kind of show up because they took Mulder in season 9, I think it was, in season 10, or was it season 8? They took him like in season 9 is when they had Robert Patrick show up, and you actually start to see like actual monsters and creatures, and the aliens shows up towards like the last episode, and they made a movie. I didn't really watch the movie.
I didn't watch the movie. I was a real big fan at the beginning, kind of lost interest towards the end. So yeah, I don't really remember any of that, but I remember being a big fan of the X Files. I remember it scaring the bejesus out of me.
What was the other
I
anniversary?
was like 7, 8, so. The Walking Dead,
That's a big
10th
one.
anniversary. Woo, The Walking Dead. As anybody who knows me, I am a huge, huge, huge,
Huge.
huge Walking Dead fan. Pretty much anything zombie, but when I found out about The Walking Dead, I fell in love.
You found out about like what, a year or so after the comic book came out too, right? That's when you found out about The Walking Dead,
The TV show?
the comic.
Yeah, I think about a year after the comic was in full swing, I found out about The Walking Dead and I started reading. At first, I read little samples online,
Right.
and that's when my love blossomed. And
That's how it
it's
is for
just,
some people, yeah.
yeah, and it grew and grew, and so now I'm a huge fan, not only of the comic but of the TV show,
How'd you
as everybody is.
how'd you feel about the season finale? The recent season finale?
Uh, I'm pretty sure you're referring to Andrea's death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about it? You think it was a cop out, or you think it was pretty well done?
I kind of, well, see, my emotions are mixed with Andrea's death, only because as a reader of the comic, I really rooted for Andrea's character to be like the character in the storyline for the books.
See, I haven't read the Walking Dead comic, and that's only because I never really got much into like gory type comics. I'm more into capes. So
Hmm.
was she a bit of a badass in the comic?
Uh, More than a bit. She is more than a bit of a badass. She is uh, pretty much at one point becomes Rick's right hand man.
Oh wow.
She is, and forgive me for anybody who has not read the comic book.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, spoiler alert. But she is a badass. She is a really good snipe. Um, she doesn't cry as much as she does in the TV show. I mean, that was one thing that really upset and more like annoyed me from her character in the show, because she seems to be like the Katara of The Walking Dead. And if anybody doesn't get the Katara reference, that's if you watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, you'll understand.
Like the character that played her, she was a good actress. She's a really good actress. Just she made like the nastiest face when she cried too, and she cried
Yeah,
all the time.
all the time and complained all the time. And
Oh,
she is
God.
so wishy-washy between, having her loyalty with Woodbury, because I wouldn't really say it was more of being loyal to the governor. It was more of being loyal to the community itself that she felt attached to, as opposed to her attachment with her relationship and her friendships with everybody, with Rick's group and everybody like
Huh.
that. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how she was so she was back and forth and crying and complaining and wanting everybody to get along, and she's her character in the TV show was way too annoying for me, that when they killed her off, I was sort of relieved. I was like,
God's relieved is an
wow.
understatement.
Yeah, well, I was sad, but at the same time, I was like, sigh of relief. Okay,
I was like,
we don't have
finally.
her.
Like,
Yeah,
glad
yeah,
she's gone.
yeah. Super glad that her character was gone. Sad because in the books, she is such a badass.
I
But
I almost stopped watching the show because her character annoyed the living crap out of me. So
I, I think somehow deep down, there was a part of me that was hoping that they would turn her character around, because it sort of seemed that they were heading in that direction.
until they killed her.
Especially, oh yeah, well, until they killed her, boom, gone. But there was a moment where I believe it's Michonne that tells Andrea, "You can end this," and she sleeps with the governor. I'm sure
I don't
everybody
think it was
remembers that
Michonne. I
episode.
think it was Claire. Was it? Is that her name? Sophia's mom.
Uh, oh yeah, her name slips my mind. But someone tells her, you can end this, sleep with the governor, give him the night of his life, and, just end it. I really thought that, when she's standing over his body and just staring at him with that knife in her hand, I really thought, oh my God, this is the moment that they give her a pair and she becomes the badass that she needed to be
And
the whole entire
this is a
time.
Walking Dead. So you feel like that she would do it, but I was let down that she didn't do it. I'm pretty sure in the
Right?
comics.
Yeah, well, I kind of understand that they didn't give her that the power to kill off the governor, because in the storyline for the book, it's way more gruesome. It's more action packed, and there are a lot of variables in the comic that don't happen in the show.
Right.
So, it's I have my mixed emotions. I love both the books and the TV show. I just really wish that they had made Andrea's character more of a badass like they did in the TV and the comic.
This is what happened when she talks about The Walking Dead. We get like a lot more stuff to talk about when she gets focused on The Walking Dead. What was the other anniversaries you wanted to talk about?
Last but not least, yes, move me on before I spend like 4 hours on this. Superman celebrated 75 years. Woo! Congratulations, Superman.
I watched that movie and I wanted to hate it. I went into that movie just like, I heard all the hype. I had like all the press about it. Henry Cavill, I watched him in The Tudors, and I liked him in The Tudors. He was so awesome in that TV show. It was I think it was a Showtime TV show, Tudors. But I saw him in that, and I was like, all right, he's gonna be a good Superman because his acting is amazing. Then I started seeing all the hype about Superman movie, like all the Superman did, how does Superman shave? Screw all that. I just want to see the movie.
Yeah.
And I went into it. I wanted it to suck. I wanted it to be bad, so like DC would fail. But I wanted it to be good, so they can make more DC movies. But I saw the movie and I loved it. There was one scene inside of it where everyone already seen the movie. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. When Zod gets his neck snapped by Superman.
Snapped.
Like he
cleanly snapped.
And everyone always has like all this talk about how Superman like let everyone else in that city die. A lot of people died because it was during the day when they fought. So it was during the day. So a lot of people in Metropolis died that day. A lot of people died.
A lot. I mean, considering how many people occupied those skyscraper buildings and how many of them fell.
Exactly. The Daily Planet was like packed with people. Like when they were evacuating. So a lot of people died in that whole fight. But Superman has been saying a long time in the comics, if a fight between him and a Kryptonian ever happened, it will destroy the Earth. So I wasn't that surprised when like the city had been leveled like that. But the fact that he snapped Zod's neck like he did, it had to be done. But I didn't want to see it. I didn't want like Superman to do that. So
you almost didn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It had to be done. It did have to be done. Like I will admit that. Me being like I'm a big Batman fan, but I'm also a big Superman fan also, because Superman stands for something that I always believe in: the truth, justice, and the American way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the American way anymore, what he stands for, but still, just man, like the 75th anniversary though, like 75 years he's been out. So that means next year
Yeah.
is Superman, it's Batman's 75th anniversary because he came out a year after Superman did.
Well, I'm sure there will be a lot of talk for that
Oh
next year's
yeah,
Comic-Con,
oh yeah, especially like he has this new Arkham Origins game coming out. They got a new Superman Batman movie coming out too. We can talk about that as well.
right? Yep, talking about the Superman Batman movie. Rumors are that they're saying that the title for that is going to be Superman or Batman versus Superman.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Superman versus Batman because it's Superman's movie, so they're probably gonna put his name first.
I probably misread that, and you're probably right. But yeah, I mean, it's something along those lines. So,
You said Christian Bale be coming back as Batman, which sucks. I don't.
no, Henry Cavill is going to be coming back as Superman. Christian Bale is not coming back.
Batman, yeah. Yeah,
Right?
I would like
Yeah.
to see Bale as Batman again because he did a great job as Batman. Like he made me like Batman movies again. Watching him after I saw him in Equilibrium, I knew he was gonna
Hmm.
make a great Batman. But I don't know who'd be a good replacement to replace him. I'm pretty sure there's some good actors out there, but no one
Yeah.
at the top of my head is really like popping off to me. Someone told me once about Jensen Ackles, the guy who plays Dean Winchester on Supernatural, but he's a little
Hmm.
short to be the Batman. I don't think he has the
Yeah.
height.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you. I don't really know anybody off the top of my head who stands out as a Batman character like Christian Bale does. I mean, unless they get Adam West to be Batman again,
Uh,
but hey.
Gosh, please don't do
Hey, don't knock the West. Don't knock the
that.
West, please.
And also talking about the Batman Superman news, there is a new Batman Superman comic out. It's all involving the new 52 characters. I think the issue number 2 came out July 2nd, July 3rd. It came out, and right now the new 52 Superman and Batman, they're traveling to the Earth 2 Batman Superman universe, and they're younger, but like they didn't meet those other two Batman and Superman, and those Batman and Superman trying to stop the young Batman and Superman. I hear it's a good
Hmm.
story. I haven't read it myself. I need to pick it up so I can probably review it in one of my videos. But
Right.
definitely check it out. I hear only good things about it. I haven't heard anything negative. Like if you guys do hear something, let us know about it because I wouldn't mind getting some feedback about it.
Right. And going back to the Batman Superman movie, following that, Warner Brother plans on releasing the Flash movie in 2016. And after that, they want to lead that into the Justice League movie in 2017. So, a couple of movies in the next couple of years that I'm pretty sure everybody will be all on Twitter about.
Literally.
Literally, yes.
I also want to talk about something actual comic book news that happened at Comic
Hmm.
Con because there wasn't much of it. Uh,
Hmm.
a new long shot comic book is coming out.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. I've been hearing you rave about this for
I'm
quite some
excited to
time.
read this because it's all about like just long shot, and apparently they're creating a new bad guy for long shot who also has the same powers as he does. So it's a bad guy who has the power of luck, but he's using it to do evil deeds. He's working with Shield, so he's working with Maria Hall and
Hmm.
Nick Fury. So I'm excited to read this comic. I don't care what anyone says. The way they're advertising it is all it takes is a bit of luck. I'm in. The art looks amazing. I think it's Jacopo uh, Kamagini. Yeah, he's doing the art. Looks gorgeous. So it comes out in November. So keep your eyes peeled for it.
Yeah. Uh, I have just one more thing to talk about. Something that I just found out today. Um, James McAvoy, famous for his role in the X-Men movie, is coming out in a rumored Frankenstein movie. So him and Daniel Radcliffe are actually rumored to be in this movie.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been a little bit of time since we've seen a Frankenstein movie come up.
Yeah,
So
it's been a good while. I think the last time you even heard something about a Frankenstein was what was it? I think it was Van Helsing was the last time you heard something about anything revolving Frankenstein was Van Helsing.
yeah, yeah, it's been a good while. So I'm interested to see what their take is going to be on that. Uh, there's not much information on it.
No trailers or anything?
No trailers. There's no pictures. Nothing. It's just straight news.
You know what the release date is for it?
There is no release date either.
They're starting pre-production for it then. All right.
Mm-hmm. So that's something to definitely keep our eyes and ears up for, because they're calling it it's what do they say? They're describing it as a revisionist of the Frankenstein movie. So there's no wording. There's no plot. There's speculation on whether there will or probably won't be an actual Frankenstein monster in the movie. It might just be, a Frankenstein movie about Frankenstein himself, and Igor, just like maybe.
I take it back. The last thing I heard about Frankenstein was in the TV show Once Upon a Time. That was the last thing I heard about anything revolving Frankenstein. So, so yeah, that sounds interesting. I wouldn't mind hearing more about that. I like McAvoy. Radcliffe is a decent actor. For those who've seen The Woman in Black, I haven't watched it, but other people told me his acting was pretty good in it. He's been
really good. I did watch that movie, and I really enjoyed his acting in that movie. I went into that movie, in all honesty, being very skeptical of how his acting would be, only because I'd known him for so long as Harry Potter.
Right.
So I wasn't too sure how that transition was going. I didn't know whether I was going to still see him as Harry Potter or if he could really put himself into that new role. And I was blown away. I really loved his acting in The Woman in Black. And so I'm excited to see how he portrays Igor, the assistant, in this upcoming untitled Frankenstein movie.
He also been doing some stage acting too since That Woman in Black. A lot of musicals, I believe. But I got a couple more things to talk about. Tom Hiddleston, the guy that played Loki in the Avenger movie and the Thor movie, he came to Comic-Con dressed in his Loki attire, and he pretty much took over Comic-Con as Loki. Yeah, he talked about all the people that were sitting there, about how they're all just sheep to the fodder, coming inside this giant building, dressed in your hot, sweaty costumes, just to hear them talk about movies that aren't even out yet. So
right,
he pretty much just ragged on the entire audience as Loki. I thought that was pretty hilarious. It was a good way to promote that new Thor movie that's coming out.
Yeah, really good. I got a little kick out of his little entrance there.
Did you watch the video for it?
I saw the pictures, and I didn't watch the video, but I did read some of the comments and saw the pictures on his.
You gotta watch
on him being dressed.
The video's awesome.
I will. You put up those links, and I will watch them.
The last thing I want to talk about, what news-wise, is the Age of Ultron. The new Avengers 2 movie. It's going to be called The Age of Ultron. I think it's supposed to be the kickoff to Marvel's Phase 3.
Yeah, I believe so.
Or it's supposed to be the last movie of their Phase 2 program. But it's not. It's going to have Hank Pym in it, I believe, but he's not going to be the main focus point to creating Ultron. So Hank Pym would have nothing to do with creating Ultron, but they will be making an Ant-Man movie, which kind of doesn't make much sense to me, because in the comics, everyone knows that Hank Pym created Ultron. That's his biggest mistake right there, is creating Ultron. So the fact they're going to have Ultron in the second movie is a little it baffles me a little bit. They can pick so many other villains like Mephisto, or they can pick Hydra.
Yeah.
They could put Hydra in the movie, but they want to go with Ultron instead. I don't understand why they would go that route. But I guess I should like just let it go because Joss Whedon is a comic book fan. He knows his stuff when it comes to comics, so I
Mhm.
can't wait to see it. I'm gonna be a little bit
Yeah.
skeptical because I know comics also, and I still think Ultron's a little bit too early to show the world this big character because it's like the Superman movie. How the only way they can top that Superman movie is by doing what they're doing right now, is putting Batman and Superman together. Because having Superman fight Kryptonians,
Mhm.
you can't really go past like how can you go past Kryptonians? Fighting
Yeah.
Superman, having Superman fight a Kryptonian, how can you beat that? That's like blowing your load like in the first movie. So you had to put
It's
Batman.
true.
You had to put Batman into the sequel to make anyone ever want to go see a sequel to it. So
Yeah. Well, we're it's gonna be one of those. We'll have to just wait and see.
I also want to talk about the last thing I want to talk about is the movies. Talk about all the movies that came out the weekend of Comic
Mhm.
Con. Surprisingly, R.I.P.D. is ranked number 7 at the end of that
Yep.
weekend. $12 million they got his first weekend. Nuts.
Yeah. And from the comments and reviews that I've been reading, it's a big womp womp.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's just terrible.
So
That movie did so bad. Like I really wanted to go see it, but $12 million in the box office. Just wow.
yeah.
Either there's more horror fans in the world and like than Hollywood thinks there is, or R.I.P.D. just really did that bad. Because The Conjuring did number one, made 41 million his
Right.
first weekend.
Right. Which is surprising for a quote unquote horror movie.
You haven't even seen it
The
yet.
only reason, well, the only reason that I say quote unquote horror movie is because scary movies that have been coming out as of late have not really been horror movies, and I get just as passionate about these kinds of topics, just like I do when I start talking about The Walking Dead. Um, a lot of these movies that are sold as a scary or horror movie end up being more thrillers
Right.
than anything. I mean, uh, what was what was it? Evil Dead. It was rated PG-13.
No, that's R. That movie was rated
Oh,
R.
was it?
Yeah.
Well, which one was it that was PG-13? And I mean, if you rate a scary movie that is World
World
War
War
Z.
Z.
That's the one that I was
Yeah.
thinking of. World War Z, sold as a zombie movie. The trailers or more like the commercials that I saw weren't very they didn't blow it didn't knock my socks off is what I
It didn't
wanted to
make me want
say.
to go see it. I will say that.
Yeah, no. Especially since I read the book and then hearing, talks of Mark Brooks saying this is not
The writer of the book, right?
the writer of the book, stating that the movie was not what he expected. It was not, um, it's not the movie, it's not a movie based off of his book, essentially, is what he said. And so when a lot of horror movies come out, I'm very on the fence about them. I
Right.
still go and watch them. I still get excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm still very much a fangirl, as one would say. But I usually tend to leave disappointed in a lot of the new scary movies that are being sold as horror because I feel like they should be classified as a thriller.
Right.
And that is all I am going to say about that.
Number 2 was Despicable Me though in theaters. So Despicable Me made 25 million this week. Like last weekend, it did 276. So if they want to make a sequel, they got the money to make a sequel. But
Of course.
I guess since one of his movies did bad, his other movies did pretty well. It was ranked number third. It had 21 million at the box office. So that movie Turbo, it also has
Mm.
Ryan Reynolds. So he had a one promising movie this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Grown Ups came in fourth with 20 million. It made 79 so far. Red came out this weekend, only made 18 million. Came in fifth place on its opening weekend, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm guessing that movie did really bad also because the first one was really good.
Yeah. I don't
And
understand why not. There wasn't more hype about that.
you know what I think? I think it was Carl Urban is why it did so well because people wanted to see Carl Urban. I think that's
Mhm.
why it did like as good as it did because I like watching Carl Urban in movies. I didn't watch Star Trek in theaters. I need to wait till DVD now because it's not in theaters anymore. But I wanted to watch
Mhm.
that movie just because Carl Urban and Chris Pine was in it. So, and lastly, coming in sixth place is Pacific Rim with 16 million. It made 68 overall so far. So
Which is
hopefully,
shocking that it would come in at last place since there was such a big hype about it.
Pacific Rim or RIPD because so far in eighth place is World War Z, but seventh place is RIPD, and that came on its opening weekend.
I was talking about Pacific Rim.
Yeah, you figure it's making a lot of money because I watched it and holy crap, that movie was amazing. It was really
Yeah.
good. It's not. I've been telling people that it's not Ava, it's not Evangelion, it's not Gundam Wing, it's not Macross Plus. This is his own movie. Like they have other mechs that they have in Russia and Japan and
Hmm.
Australia and in England. They have like other mechs that they talk about throughout the movie, but this is pretty much an American mech story right here
Hmm.
because the story to it is really good. The opening to it starts out just bam, nothing but action. Like
Hmm.
action as soon as you start watching this movie, just straight up action. So I loved it. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I loved this movie. I thought I want to go see it again. That's how good it was because it was really awesome. And if more people go see this movie, that would tell Hollywood like, hey, people like seeing movies like this because it was really well done. It was really well done. The CG was spectacular. It wasn't all about eye candy the entire time. The story too was really well done also. Like you really cared about those characters in that story.
Okay, yeah, because that's my main concern when I go into like a movie that is being sold primarily on the special effects and things like that. Usually the story lacks.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's only the only thing that I would ever be on the fence about. But definitely you're changing my mind. I might go and give it a little look see if you're saying that the story is good because for me it's always about the story.
I think that's why you didn't enjoy Man of Steel as much as you should had. Because I
Yeah,
think you were more
I
focused on the story.
yeah. I like more meat when it comes to my movies than just, the shell.
Like
The
it
word.
had a decent story. Like Jonathan Kent, it was a good story to him. Like when he died, you got like emotion towards that. It was nice seeing Clark grow up, as a kid with his superpower. Like it gave you more depth to the story. And like
Mhm.
you had to think to yourself, like in the comics, this happened to him also. He was that kid who grew up seeing through people, hearing things like not many people could hear. He had to live through
Right.
that, and
Yeah,
not a lot.
freaking out,
Yeah,
thinking what's wrong with me.
like a lot of people really seem to get that about Superman, but that's his coming of age story right there. Like he would be a little different than most people growing up. He would have like a more of a background. That's why I like this movie because they show people that. But in the comics, he still persevered. He still did good overall else. He still tried to save people's lives. He didn't kill. He didn't try to kill. There were
Mhm.
some parts in comics where he did kill people. Most of it was like Elseworld kind of stuff or Pillow Universes kind of stuff that he did this in. But
Mhm.
usually Superman does not kill.
Yeah. I think that was the thing that I was most upset about that he just, that they had him
Kill somebody?
kill
Yeah.
kill someone. Yeah. I kind of left the theater going, "Okay, there was a lot of shiny bits and there was story to it, but the fact that he kills General Zod at the end, uh, it didn't really sit right with me. As we all know, it didn't sit right with a lot of people. So,
Yeah, I did not like that. Not one bit. I almost walked out of the theater when I saw that.
yep, I remember. I remember your reaction to that.
All right, well, that's it. Flipping tables over. You guys want us to talk about anything else? You guys let us know in comments below. For now, we're gonna do only YouTube podcasts. If we ever get the time, we'll start actually putting them on iTunes and other podcast channels. But for now, we're sticking right to the YouTube. So if you want to check out our videos, listen to us on the YouTube.
Yay, YouTube.
This is this.
um, oh, just one more thing that I wanted to interject. You are coming out with a new comic review.
Yep, I'm posting it the same day I'm posting this one here. So
Yeah,
keep,
so
keep your eyeballs open. Check out the stuff that I'm talking about on there. You may like some of the comics. One of the comics in particular, I know a lot of people may want to read about. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna make you go watch the video. So
right. So check out Dee's video. Check out our podcast. We are trying to make these on the weekly. We're we're thinking about doing them once a week, maybe twice, depending on how much information and news that we have when we're going through everything that we're finding out. So hopefully we will get all of this to you once or twice a week. So
this is your host, Demetrius, aka Jet Screamer.
and Nydia, aka Grandmaster U,
Until next time, you guys be frosty.
and you stay classy.